Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this weather-changing day. It was really stormy earlier. Now it looks like it's clearing up, and all those weather warnings and alerts and watches and everything, they all have been lifted. So now just enjoy the day. I can remember a time, Robin, when I was, probably a teenager, my late teens. I think I was out of high school already, but probably hadn't yet reached the 20-year mark. And I don't know, I was just kind of bummed out about something, you know how we are as people. And I turned on the radio, and there was this rock and roll song. It was just awesome. It just brought me back up. I mean, it really just invigorated me. And I wouldn't say that that would happen to everybody. I guess it depends on the music that moves you. But in those years, and probably still today, I mean, rock music really, really has an effect on me. Mm-hmm. But I've been around some classical music that has a different effect.
Yeah.
Like, and some really powerful, like some of the stuff that's on pop radio right now, it has an effect. But there's something about that raw slamming the pick on a guitar string on the string. Something about that. I don't know. Maybe it's just the generation I am part of. Shemane Nugent is on the phone. Boy, she is a pretty lady.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Inside and out, too.
Wow.
She does wonderful stuff.
She is the author of the book we're going to talk about. It's called 4 Minutes a Day, Rock and Roll, Your Way to Happy. Be happier, healthier, more prosperous, and live the life of your dreams. I love the philosophy in the book. Mm-hmm. And she's on the phone. So let's say hello to Shemane Nugent. Good morning, Shemane. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fabulous. Thanks for having me.
Am I saying your name right? Shemane?
Shemane, yeah.
Shemane, okay.
Yep.
Let's see, you're an award-winning TV producer and host, filmmaker, motivational speaker. You got a master's degree in metaphysics.
That's my favorite part.
Holy mackerel. How do you use that? What do you use that for?
Well, I started researching spirituality and the mind-body connection when I was plagued with debilitating migraines, and that's part of why I'm here talking to you. I wrote this book, 4 Minutes a Day, Rock and Roll Your Way to Happy, because our house that was once in Michigan, we found, and once on MTV Cribs, we found to be contaminated with black mold between the walls. We never saw anything.
And that's what was giving you the headaches.
Yeah, and I never knew it, but the reason I got the master's in metaphysics is I thought, well, if I'm going to do all this research, I might as well have something to show for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Good for you.
I guess it's okay to mention that you're married to Ted Nugent?
No, you can't mention it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll erase that part. I'll erase that part.
7 seconds away.
Well, thank you for being on the air with us today. So Robin said that she asked you if you play guitar and you don't.
No, I used to play the flute, and I was in the marching band. Does that qualify?
Yeah, but you got a cool-looking guitar in this cover of the book.
I do. That is one of my husband's most prized possessions, and it's very, very expensive. And I asked him one day, honey, can I borrow your guitar, your best guitar, your most beloved guitar for the day?
Just so you could pose with it, right?
What do you want to do with my guitar? So, yeah, that's Ted Paul Reed Smith custom guitar.
So the story I told, hopefully you heard in the opening, the story I told when I was younger. I'm 61, by the way, now, so it's been a long time ago. And it still has the same effect on me. Mm-hmm. I still can do the same thing. And I'm not one of these fuddy-duddies that only wants to listen to old music. I'll put on the current station, and if it moves me, it moves me. I'll roll down the windows of the car and put my elbow out and just enjoy life.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's something different about the music that was made in the 60s and 70s, and it just was pure and authentic and raw. And we don't seem to have those qualities today.
Well, you do. It's just not on the radio.
Right. Yeah, right.
If you go to a Green Day concert, they still do that. Well, of course, Green Day is already a decade or more old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also incorporate the discipline that you had for your dancing in your writings, too, because that's, you know, a feat in itself.
Yeah, I really believe that there is a strong mind-body connection, and I incorporate a lot of the movement in dancing as a way of life and as a way of health and fitness for me. I've been a group fitness instructor for more than 30 years. I started back in 1980, and that's really kept me healthy and happy, and people constantly ask me, what do you do to stay in shape? That's it. I do something, anything, every day. I move, I walk, I run. Well, I don't run so much, but I teach Zumba fitness classes. In fact, every year I'm in Ocala. I'm in Orlando at the International Zumba Fitness Convention.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I teach Zumba instructors from all over the world about the latest, greatest Zumba fitness moves. So it's a huge part of my life, and I really believe that's why I've been able to bounce back from a life-threatening illness after our house was contaminated with black mold.
Wow, it was that bad. It was that bad, huh? Where are you right now? Where are you calling from?
Texas.
Texas. How's the weather in town? You had some bad weather yesterday, didn't you?
We did, yeah, but it's sunny today, and it's going to be 65, so it's not bad.
So you got
but I live part-time in Naples. I have a place in Naples. I love it.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, you do?
I'm a Florida girl. Yeah, I went to the University of Florida, actually, at one point.
Oh, nice. So you're an alumni.
Yeah. Well, I didn't graduate from there, but I spent a year there. So
I think alumni applies still.
I do.
Yeah, I think if you went there, alumni is still good.
Yeah.
So tell me about the 4 minutes a day. That almost seems hard to believe. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, think about those things that are really spectacular to you, that are really meaningful, and it's usually experiences. It's being with certain people in certain situations, and these days we're all busy. We all have work and family, and some of us are taking care of sick or elderly relatives, and time is of the essence. So I devised this book, which literally came to me as divine inspiration. And this is the message, the title was given to me. So I kept everything the way that it was, and I wrote the book in 3 days. And I thought, when I was being given this message about inspiration, I always wanted to talk about my story, how I healed myself and my family with medication, non-medication, and authentic remedies like vitamin IV, infrared sauna, and oxygen. And I wanted to tell this story, but it didn't come to me until years later. And 4 minutes seems like something doable. I mean, nobody can change their life or start a new fitness program or lose 30 pounds or get in shape or change their careers. And, you know, everybody's busy. We don't have hours and hours and hours to spend each week. But 4 minutes a day seems doable, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Do you still do the oxygen therapy?
You know what, I do on occasion. I really believe it. I still suffer from migraines. I've become chemically sensitive, and I know that I do. There's a place that I go to in Naples called the Hughes Center. It used to be David Perlmutter, Dr. David Perlmutter, who wrote the book called Brain Grain. Used to be his place. And I would go, whenever I'm in Naples, I go get a vitamin IV, and while I'm doing that, I do oxygen. So, yeah, I feel like it makes me feel like I had the best 8-hour sleep in my life.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess you'll hear about people using the oxygen thing, but never.
What you also do with your book is that you inspire others not to be stagnant, because sometimes people say, oh, well, this is all I have for my life until I die, but that's not your philosophy at all.
No, I really believe like that little voice in the back of our mind that's encouraging us to try new things and to step outside our comfort zone and to have another career and to try different things. I mean, we all have a gift. And I believe our purpose in life is to share that gift with others. And for me, that's when I'm the most happy, is when I'm doing things I love to do. Whether or not I get paid for it, it doesn't matter. If I love to do it and I can share that passion with others, that's what truly makes me feel alive.
Yeah, and you should be the one who decides to do it and when you're going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we all have a gift, and you know, the world needs doctors and lawyers.
I agree.
And welders and fitness instructors.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The world needs each of us to shine our light.
Shemane, you know what I've always... I'm going to tell you my little spiel. It won't take me that long. When when we
I got all day. Go ahead.
when we as a human race decided that the world was not flat, we should not have been surprised, because if you look up in space, everything is a sphere. Everything is a ball. Mm-hmm. Everything. Why would we be any different? And in that same spirit, in that same way, when you look around at the creation, at God's creation, you see that every animal, every plant, every living thing has been given by God a way to provide for itself and to reproduce and to all the things that you need. So why would we be left out? Why are we always afraid that there's not going to be food on the table? Not to say that you shouldn't help people.
Yourself.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So we all have a gift, which is what you said. Getting back to your point, and just using that gift is the key. That's the key. The beaver never says, I don't know if I should build that dam. He just builds it.
Just builds it. Well, something happens between the time we're born, when we're fascinated with life and we're happy little babies and we love to try new things, and we walk and we fall and we get up and try again and we keep going, to the point when we're adults and we just feel like we need to keep trudging on and doing the same old thing, and we get beaten down by, whether it's bills, we've got bills to pay, we've got health insurance, so we keep our same jobs. Whatever the reason is, some of us get to that point in our lives where we're just, it's too much effort, too much energy to try and spend something, trying to do something new. But in my book, I offer the reader an opportunity to use it as a journal, and even blank spaces to draw. What does the life of your dreams look like? My son, it was funny, he's very spiritual, and in fact he wrote a little bit in the book too about sadness. And I was having a conversation with him one day, and I said, my friend, she and her husband go somewhere every month, no matter if it's just, a short drive for the day or for the weekend. They go somewhere all the time. They travel, and I thought, I'd like to do that. My son said to me, why can't you? And it just made me think, I don't know, why can't I? I've got to create time in my life to do the things that I really love to do. And here's a dirty little secret. Are you guys ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Okay, dirty little secret, why this is 4 minutes a day, is because if you commit to doing 4 minutes a day for 60 days, research indicates that 60 days is the amount of time it takes to change bad behavior. And who wants to clean out a junk drawer? I don't. But if you commit to doing these exercises for 2 months, then those 4 minutes can turn into 10 or 20 or 30. It's the inspiration that you need to get started and to make those changes in your life that you always wanted to.
And that's all about positive attitude and optimism, because you really try to steer people away from the negative.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many things in our life that can bring us to our knees, aren't there? We all have stuff to deal with. And I know after losing my home, not only losing my home that was once featured on MTV Cribs, I hear they play that, they rerun that. That home is no longer, it's demolished, and all of the contents. And all of my son's baby pictures and Ted's guitar memorabilia. Oh. Not only that did we lose, but we lost our health. We spent a year of our life trying to get our health back, and we did, which is the reason I wrote this book. But, I know what it's like to be sad, and I know what it's like to be unhealthy. I lost my health. But being happy and healthy is much better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shemane Nugent is our guest, and she's in Texas, and the weather's looking pretty good. So is ours. Mm-hmm. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. Her book is called 4 Minutes a Day, Rock and Roll Your Way to Happy. Be happier, healthier, more prosperous, and live the life of your dreams with just 4 minutes.
I know.
Chapter 13 is about sex. I wonder if... 4 minutes.
Okay,
hold on.
Is that a new record?
yeah. 4 minutes. We'll take a little less than that. We'll take about 2 minutes for a break, and we'll be right back.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center Outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Central Florida Eye Institute is the area's leader in laser vision correction. From high-definition refraction surgery and LASIK vision correction to custom cataract, glaucoma, and diabetic treatment, you can count on Dr. Crowley and his effective, friendly staff to provide you with the quality care you deserve. Call 352-237-8400 for an appointment or more information. That number again is 352-237-8400. Looking forward to service your vision needs.
Robin, let's try a little plant trivia. Name this nursery. It's a not-for-profit, and it teaches growing and caring for plants to their students.
Oh, that's easy. Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? It's a nursery conveniently located between Ocala and Bellevue.
Again, it's Kenny's Place.
Or how about this one? A nursery with a wide variety of just what you need or want at the most reasonable prices.
Kenny's Place, of course.
Kenny's Place at 7677 Southeast 41st Court. Give them a call at 867-1213. It's a caring place for people and plants. It's Kenny's Place. All right, 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Shemane Nugent is on the phone. That's a pretty first name.
It's beautiful.
Is that you know where that comes from?
No, where'd you get that from?
The movie El Cid with Sophia Loren and Charlton Heston.
Really?
That's her name. My parents got very creative.
Very good. Do you know you have something? You and Ted have something in common, Robin.
What is that?
Well, I mean, not with each other. I mean, with Robin and I.
After 27 years, I'd like to know.
No. I mean, with us. You guys have something in common with us, except that you're famous. We're not famous.
Yes.
I'm not. I am not. But I'm married to somebody who is. But go ahead.
We both do. You do music. We do music, and you also have a passion for veterans. You guys started.
Yes.
You started something called Freedom's Angels.
Yes, I started a nonprofit organization called Freedom's Angels when Ted was visiting Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas. We went into a room where a 19-year-old Corporal John Shemanes was brought in the night before with burns all over his body. And Ted was the only one that was able to go in because of the chance of infection. He had to scrub up and put the gown on and everything. And he's so good at saying words of encouragement to these soldiers who risk their lives for us to have freedom. And he went in, and while he's in there talking to John, who's wrapped up like a mummy from head to toe, I was standing outside the room with John's mom, Nancy. Well, what do you say to the mother?
Yeah, really.
And I couldn't. The only thing that came out of my head was, I said, Nancy, is there anything that you need? Is there anything that I can do for you? And she turned to me and she said, my son is a big outdoorsman, and there's no place for him to go outside and enjoy the weather while he's recuperating. There's no patio. They can't be exposed to direct sunlight. And they need to have a patio. And I had never had any experience with fundraising, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I turned to her and I said, Nancy, I'm going to raise the money, and I'm going to build you a patio. And I am the first civilian to build on government property. I built a patio at Brooke Army Medical Center, San Antonio, for wounded soldiers.
Wow.
So, yeah, we have a huge passion for our veterans. And we also recently paired up with Canines for Warriors, which is an organization located in Jacksonville.
Here?
And they take shelter dogs and pair them up with veterans who have post-traumatic stress.
Really?
Yeah, so...
that is awesome. So you have a love for dogs, too. So did John survive?
He did, and he's got a family, and I still keep in touch with him.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, wow, good for you guys. You make the news. I guess Ted makes the news more with saying things. He gets into the news. And
have you noticed that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, sometimes it's what he says, and sometimes being in the media, that things can be taken out of context and they can be misconstrued and weaved into different messages. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Every time they play a soundbite, I always think of cat scratch fever. Though. It's hard to not think of that.
Yeah.
What you're doing is absolutely marvelous, but you also have to have your private time for yourself, your husband, your children, and how do you keep everything in balance for you?
Well, when it comes to health, for me, it's life and death, because I was almost dying. About 12 years ago, I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs if my life depended on it. So I have to make healthy living a priority. And, you know, when I was growing up, and I say when I was growing up in my 20s and 30s, I didn't do that so much as I do now. I felt like it was a guilty pleasure to go to the gym and work out, or to make a healthy dinner.
Oh, now you do it to survive.
It's survival. It's a means of survival. If I don't make fitness a daily priority, even if it's walking.
That's a really good... I love what you're saying right there. I feel like I'm going through the same thing right now.
You have to do it, because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. So you have to make fitness a priority, or healthy living a priority. Like, I don't always juice, but I try to juice and drink fresh juices at least 4 or 5 times a week. And I have a big salad at least every day. I fill my plate with mostly vegetables, and everything else takes a second fiddle to that.
That's what we should do. See?
Yes. I know.
I'm on the 80-20 diet, and I read about that in the book. People always ask me, in fact, okay, don't hate me. Promise you won't hate me.
Okay.
After I tell you. Okay,
no, I want to hear this, because, well, you're, it's a timely conversation. Put it that way.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I weigh less than what I did in high school, and I weigh less than when I met my husband 27 years ago.
Wow.
And I talk about all of that, how I do that in my book. And it's not rocket science. I'm on...
So you do 80% vegetables, 20% meat?
Well, no.
No?
80-20. 80% of what I eat is healthy, organic, pure, and clean.
Okay.
The closer we get to the hoof, the ground, or the tree, the better. The more we process our foods and the higher the temperature we cook it and the longer the time, the more nutrients we lose. So 80% of what I eat is, I would say 70% of that is vegetables. And yes, I still eat a lot of venison, pure protein.
I bet you do eat a lot of venison.
Yeah. But 20% of what I eat is, life is meant to be worth indulging on occasion.
Yeah, well,
20% of what I eat is fun.
And you also mentioned to people that you shouldn't just remember all of your successes, but the obstacles that you took to get wherever your success is, because failures do play an important role in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Think of all the people, famous people, celebrities, who have failed at things. Like Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. I wonder if that coach feels bad now.
Yeah, right.
Well, you never know. I mean, on the other side, maybe that's what made him push himself harder. Maybe that's why he became a star.
That's my point. We should use those opportunities of not failure, but just as an opportunity to redirect. Sometimes God throws us an obstacle, so we redirect and we hone our skill a little bit more, and it makes us hungry.
Yeah, I think so. Real quick, I just want to tell you when did we hit the cow? We hit the cow.
August
Robin and I do
31st.
music, and we were playing someplace about 100 miles from here. We were coming home.
August 31st.
We were almost home, and we hit a cow. So my car needed to be replaced, and I'm not in a good shape to be needing another car payment. Put it that way.
Yeah, because it was paid for.
So I said, I'll just cut corners. I'll eat bologna sandwiches every day. Let me tell you something. I could feel the effects of eating poorly, like after a month. After about a month. So now I'm back on this new kick of lots of green things and healthy things.
Veggie burgers.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, that's what I do. In fact, I'm going to tell you a quick story. I teach at the Zumba Fitness Convention every year, and a couple years ago this is probably too much information, but I had a hysterectomy, and I planned that to be 6 months before the convention in August, so I would get healthy and recover. And I wasn't by that time. I was still tired, and my sessions at the convention are 2 hours long of high-intensity fitness. And I, for the first time, consulted a nutritionist, and I said, what is wrong? How can I get my energy level back up? And she took a look at what I was doing, how I was eating, and I don't really like to eat breakfast.
And that was the culprit?
I was drinking protein smoothies for my breakfast, and she looked at that and she said, that's all sugar.
That's no good, huh? My goodness. I've loved the conversation, Shemane, but we are so out of time. Do you have a website?
I do. It's ShemaneNugent.rocks, SHEMANE, Nugent, NUGENT.rocks, ROCKS.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on. What an honor. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Donald Trump's winning streak continues with last night's victory in Nevada, telling supporters...
And soon the country is going to start winning.
Leading Ted Cruz in the fight for second place is Marco Rubio, who's questioning the Republican frontrunner.
I understand Donald likes to say he's going to make America great again. How? How exactly are you going to do it?
Rough weather expected to hit the Carolinas this afternoon after